scion of Hollywood. I mean, you've been around for a long time, and one of the things that I think of with your father, Dick Zanuck, is that he's not pretentious at all either. He's a no bullshit kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you better not mess with him either. He doesn't suffer fools, but he's a really nice man. He's an open, generous, listening kind of man. But he knows his stuff and he doesn't mess around. It sounds like you've got a little bit of that in you as well. How would you compare yourself a little bit with him? You roll up your sleeves on the set of a movie.
I'm a few inches taller, but
just a few. I don't know how that happened.
Listen, he's a remarkable guy. He's taught me so much about this business. My film school was across the dinner table, and hearing him and his old partner, the late David Brown, talk about the business and what mattered and what didn't, and the sort of fun and the showmanship that once was more evident than it is nowadays. But he always, I don't know if it was just how I was raised, but I never sort of bought into the cocktail party of the business or the celebrity of the business. It was really just about telling good stories. His father had told him that story is king, and my dad passed that down to me. Of course, now we're in an age where story isn't exactly king. It's been kind of knocked down a few rungs on the level of importance, sort of behind marketing and noise and spectacle. But he goes about it with such sort of in such a sort of a gentlemanly fashion and with respect. He's not he's certainly not a screamer, but he does he can be an intimidating presence. You can ask every one of my childhood friends that for some circumstance we're left in the room alone with him. It was like the most frightening thing. I don't know why, because he's really just he's a teddy bear. Once you get to know him, and a wonderful storyteller himself, and
well, I think it's a testament to him that you wanted to go work with him. You don't have to go spend your days working at a production company that's run by your dad.
Yeah, there was no pressure at all. I had a surprisingly normal upbringing. I mean, yes, it was privilege. Yes, I grew up on PCH on the beach, and yes, I was on more sets than most kids and met more movie stars. But
well, he expected you to go to college.
I didn't know any.
Right?
I didn't know. I mean, this was that. I didn't have anything else to compare it off. That was just my upbringing. But yeah, we went to the same high school he did, Harvard High School in the Valley, and absolutely, college was was.
Stanford as well?
No, I couldn't get into Stanford. Come on, I went to University of Colorado. I was a big skier, and that sort of pushed that school over the edge for me. But it was 4 good years there. I was a history major, and each summer, my dad would get me like an entry-level position, whether it was the ICM mailroom or a set PA, office PA, and really to get an understanding of like the business on a ground level and sort of see how things work from that perspective. There was no handouts, nor would I ever accept one. That proved to be invaluable. A lot of people don't have that experience. I certainly did pay my dues, but it was fun. I mean, you're making movies, you're running around, even if you are fetching, Jeff Bridges coffee or, selling Brian Grazer's car. I mean, this is,
You worked for Brian on Apollo 13 or something?
I was his assistant, one of his assistants, kind of his shadow.
You could learn a lot from him too.
Yeah, one of the great things Brian did, he would like to eat lunch at the grill every day. Of course, they don't have valet, and this was back when they were over in Century City, so I would drive him in his car and drop him off. It would give me, it would afford me a nice lunch in Beverly Hills, but he'd like me waiting out front when he would step out. He would always introduce me to whoever he was having lunch with, and this was Richard Lovett and Brad Gray and Kevin Hugh Van, all these people, all the I quickly sort of was able to get a grasp of the sort of the landscape and the who's who. Of course, a little embarrassing when he comes out, with my dad or Lily, and but that was a great experience. Obviously, being involved sort of tangentially in Apollo 13 was wonderful. I met Tom there. I ended up working with Tom, a handful of years later, and I was building experience until the day where my dad said, "You know what? Come over to the Zanuck Company, work in development. Be an executive on some of these studio movies. Listen to my phone calls. Start reading as many scripts as you can." And it just felt natural. I never considered really doing anything else, nor did I have this incredible desire either to make movies. I just graduated on a Saturday, drove back Saturday into Sunday from Colorado, and I was a set PA on Monday, and it sort of just felt right.